Hello, this is Sean from eBike Marketplace, and today I wanted to go over some of the batteries that we get in for repair and refurbish. This battery, I'm not sure what company it came from. A customer sent it in. They wanted us to refurbish it, so we want to fully take out the cells. We'll use the same case because it mounts onto their bike correctly, and we'll also take out the BMS because the BMS is probably no good. We'll have to test it. So I wanted to show you how some of the batteries look when they come inside versus some of our standard batteries, so you can see like what's important about the refurbished process. So of course you would unscrew everything, you take it out, and I'm not sure where this battery came off. I asked the customer, they said they just bought it off Amazon. Could be a Chinese battery, or it could be just like maybe a DIY battery. So as I remove this case here, so you can see it's really messy. A lot of companies don't use like a lattice. They don't use like a cell holder. So the batteries are kind of loose. So you can see how like some of the cells got rusted. They did use some type of fiberboard, cardboard paper. We actually use the same thing. It's pretty flame retardant, so that's good. They rounded the edges on the positive tab, and they used the grounding strip, which is good. It protects it in case it ever hits the body, and I'll get into more detail about that. But in terms of the wires, it's really bad. It's like spaghetti almost. You know, they're everywhere, and this causes problems because what happens is it will start to pull on this JST wire. If this ever gets pulled out, or one of the wires get pulled out, the battery management system can no longer balance the cells. And if the BMS, battery management system, can't balance the cells, what will happen is over time the pack will become imbalanced, and now the BMS won't be able to function correctly. And this is like 90% of the reason why a lot of batteries come back is because of the balance feature. If the BMS cannot balance the batteries themselves, what's going to happen is every single time you use it, it's going to get further and further and further out of imbalance, all the way to the point where now when you go to use the battery, it doesn't charge up fully like how it used to, or maybe it cuts off a lot earlier, and that could be mainly because of the imbalance of the battery. So a lot of times, once that happens, it's because of stuff like this, because the wires are so loose and dislodged. Once this thing moves around, there's heat, tape starts to kind of get looser as the heat heats up even more. So yes, like once this JST is dislodged, it starts to really have an issue long term. So I'll show you one of our batteries now. So this is one of our batteries. As you can see, we use the cell holder. The cell holder for us is everything because it keeps everything intact. We want to keep everything in place. And of course, the cell holder is matched to fit the battery configuration, the case. It goes in a case similar to this one. This one's our newer design. It's a lot bigger. It can fit a lot more cells. Actually, 90 cells can fit inside of this. So we can play around with the voltages. We can go up to 48, 52 volt, even 60 volt in this case. This one is one of our sharp ones. It's only for 14 amp. As you can see, it's very small in comparison of size here. So it goes in the case a lot smaller than this. But when we build our batteries, we make sure we build them with quality, of course. We want to use the cell holders. It's very important for us. We also want to make sure that the tabs are correctly. So the tabs can't overextend out on the positive side. We want to make sure that it's rounded, so that way on the top of each cell. Okay, so the positive ground strip, the positive tab is here, the negative side is here on the cell. So this is the positive, this is the negative side. The negative side is it's the entire casing of the cell. So if you were to remove this wrap, it would be just a silver cell, and it's fully the negative side of the cell. So when you're welding and you have a tab like this, you want to make sure it's rounded, because if it's not, if it's square, what's going to happen is it could at some point maybe spark the edge of this cell if the wrap was ever to come off, and that's very dangerous. That's why a lot of times you'll see batteries that have this insulator that you put on top here. So Once we have that insulator that we put on top, you want to make sure that you also are doing everything to make sure the tab is rounded. If you make sure the tab is rounded, you will protect the battery longevity-wise while you're building your battery. So that's an important step. Once you get to that step, you're here. So now that we've seen how the battery looks on the inside, we can see what it looks like finished. So here's how EMP does their refurbished. We want to make sure that the wires are clean, it's cut, and everything is taped down. It's not like spaghetti, because the JST that's right here, it's located. You want to make sure that this is never dislodged. You want to make sure it never moves. A lot of companies will, add hot glue to make sure it's nice and sturdy and it doesn't go anywhere. But we also want to overdo it, and we will make sure the wires are laid flat. They're not in any instructions, so that way if the case moves around or it hits bumps or whatever, the wires don't move. They're taped down. They're laid flat to fit the same shape as the battery. We also use fuses. So this is a fuse holder. We put it inside the battery right there at the front. So if any customer down the line was to maybe reverse the polarity on the charge port, or if they were to blow the fuse, it's easy to repair. They also have a switch. The switch is located here on the side. It's a reset switch, so that way you can turn it on and off. That's always a good feature to have. And this is what the inside of our batteries look like. So when we do our standard battery that we sell and we do our refurbished batteries, we want to make sure that we match the quality to extend that 1-year warranty or 2-year warranty. We want to make sure these batteries never really come back. We want to make sure that they're safe and secure. So anything that we can do to protect the battery long-term wise, we'll do that. And we've been in business for 6 years now, building batteries. Down the line that we saw that helps, making sure the wires are laid flat, making sure that the BMS is sturdy, it's stable, making sure that we add a fuse holder. All of these things are everything that we've learned from all the past rebuilds that we've done. If you are a customer of eBike Marketplace and you sent your battery into us and we repaired or refurbished your battery, you know that the quality level is important, because you want to make sure that battery not only lasts for the warranty, but lasts for the 3 to 5 years or so that it should last for. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks again for coming over, checking us out. You can subscribe to eBike Marketplace. It's our YouTube channel. You can also give us a call at 888-456-9410. My name is Sean. I have teams on staff that can talk to you guys, help you about these batteries. I know there's a lot of people in the community that like to do it yourself. That's fine. We're willing to help. But we also do custom batteries, and we also give custom advice. So if you need any help, give us a call. Thank you.